Music stars forgetting the lyrics to one of the most popular songs? A rapper who can't throw a baseball? Hitting an audience member in the head? Trust us, this is just the start of how awkward things can get when celebs are performing live. During the 2007 Miss Teen USA pageant, Lauren Caitlin Upton was representing South Carolina when she was asked this seemingly straightforward question by actress Amy Teagarden. Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is? Upton's answer can best be described as the exact opposite of what happened to Will Ferrell's character in Old School when he blacked out during a debate and accidentally delivered a perfectly coherent response. But even that description pales in comparison to Upton's actual words. Her composure went off the rails immediately as she began, "I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps." She then started naming countries, but her brain struggled to put anything together coherently.
I believe that our education, such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere such as, and
at this point, it was clear that redemption was nowhere in sight, but Upton kept going until her time ran out.
And the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future.
Special mention must also be made of host Mario Lopez, who somehow managed to not be doubled over with laughter as he managed to say,
"Thank you very much, South Carolina."
Since her pageant days, Upton has competed on The Amazing Race in 2010 and has also gotten into selling real estate. National anthem fails are a fairly common occurrence. The Star-Spangled Banner is performed at the beginning of a lot of major events, after all. In the case of Michael Bolton, aka everyone's mom's absolute favorite singer, he took it to another whole level while performing during the 2003 ALCS at Boston's Fenway Park. It can be easy to forget some of the words to this particular song. For example, what even are ramparts anyway? Lots of singers have slipped up, but Bolton actually stopped singing mid-verse to look at the lyrics he apparently wrote on the palm of his hand. The New York Times sports section even reported on his long pause when recapping the game. The crowd instantly turned on him, but Bolton, like the golden-throated professional he is, managed to win them back with a powerful finish. We must also give a shout-out to the stone-faced honor guardsman behind Bolton, who cracked a smile after the singer resorted to his high school exam cheating tactics. We would have also accepted an eye roll, strong side-eye, jaw drop, or any combination thereof. Even after Michael Bolton caught flack for putting a lyrical crib sheet on his hand, country star Luke Bryan decided to do the very same thing during his own performance of the national anthem. We're not really sure if these guys thought that dozens of cameras or tens of thousands of fans would somehow miss them, pausing and squinting down at their hands. But exactly the opposite happened, as the cameras very much caught Bryan sneaking a peek, as he was singing during a nationally televised sporting event after all. This all went down at the 2012 MLB All-Star Game, and Bryan quickly found himself on the wrong side of Twitter, with one user calling his performance an epic fail and declaring he needs to learn respect and remember the lyrics. Bryan replied by apologizing and copping to the ruse. However, he also claimed that he was looking down to check his watch because he knew that the stealth bomber was going to fly over about 2 minutes in and he had started a little late. We didn't realize just how much multitasking Bryan was pulling off, but no matter how he tried to justify it, it wasn't a good look. Director Michael Bay is responsible for unleashing the Transformers movies onto the world, so it was only a matter of time before a piece of technology would rise up against him. Okay, that's obviously a bit of an exaggeration, but the fact remains that a teleprompter derailed the Explosion King's live presentation for Samsung during the 2014 Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Almost as soon as Bay walked out on stage, he was immediately distressed. He stammered a bit, wrung his hands, and even admitted that there were technical problems with the prompter before announcing that he was just going to wing it. But then seconds later, he apologized and fled the presentation.
I try to take people on an emotional ride, and
the curve?
Bay later addressed the snafu on his blog, writing, "Wow, I just embarrassed myself at CES. I got so excited to talk that I skipped over the exec VP's intro line, and then the teleprompter got lost. Then the prompter went up and down, then I walked off. I guess live shows aren't my thing." It seems that Michael Bay discovered that when it comes to public speaking, there is more than meets the eye.
Let's thank Michael Bay for joining us.
There have been lots of awful first pitches thrown out at baseball games. We're not necessarily going to say that rapper 50 Cent was the worst, but it has to be pretty close to the bottom. He's one of the most successful hip-hop artists of all time, and based on this moment, he probably shouldn't quit his day job anytime soon. It was May 27, 2014, at a New York Mets game at Citi Field. 50 actually had a decent windup, but then something went horribly wrong, and he threw the ball so wildly askew that the catcher didn't even attempt to catch it. "Just a bit outside," the announcer declared, tongue firmly in cheek. 50 was at least a good sport about it, later jokingly explaining during a Reddit AMA, "I have a skeletal muscle injury on my left shoulder from excessive masturbation, so take it easy, lol." We're going to assume he's joking about that. We've heard that self-pleasure can cause problems in other parts of your life, but we always assumed that those were myths. Either way, 50 is better off remaining into club and out of the bullpen. Ever since the success of her 2014 debut single, All About That Bass, Meghan Trainor has won over legions of fans who love her throwback doo-wop and soul style. But like everyone else on this list, she's had to endure some bumps along the way. In 2014, she delivered a pretty epic performance of her song Me Too on The Tonight Show, which included a decent amount of choreography in a pair of sky-high platform heels. But then she somehow got tripped up on her own feet and took a spill in front of the live studio audience. It happened just as host Jimmy Fallon was walking out to meet her, and as she was putting the mic back on the stand. So her surprised yelp and his uncontrollable laughter only amplified the moment. Trainor returned to the show on a later occasion and explained that they even reshot the entire song. But she chose to let them air the one where she fell anyway, because it was a better performance.
"I'm gonna fall eventually one day, so let this be it."
That's spoken like a true entertainer right there, and we're glad to see her pick herself back up so quickly. Any regular listener of Howard Stern's radio show knows the story well. Producer/punching bag Gary Bababooey Delabate threw out the first pitch at a 2009 New York Mets game. It was a truly terrible hurl that landed nowhere near the catcher, and it went down in baseball history as one of the all-time worst first pitches. The following year, Delabate visited Jimmy Kimmel Live and was offered an unexpected shot at redemption. Host Jimmy Kimmel handed him a baseball and glove, while Kimmel himself put on a catcher's mitt and offered him a second chance to demonstrate his pitching prowess. Taking his place on stage, Delabate threw the ball, which veered wildly off course and was caught by an audience member. Retrieving the ball, Kimmel offered him yet another chance, resulting in Delabate throwing a grounder that bounced on the stage, prompting Kimmel to give him yet again one more chance. Alas, his third and final attempt was not the charm, as it once again swerved into the audience, and this time it struck a woman in the head. Walking back to the interview chairs, Delabate forcefully threw the glove back at Kimmel, his chagrined expression serving as an open book, replete with the knowledge of the brutal mockery awaiting his return to the Stern Show studio. During a 2004 Canada vs. USA exhibition hockey game, Canadian singer Caroline Marcel delivered what was probably the worst performance of her life on what was likely one of the worst days of her life. She got exactly 2 lines into her rendition of the American national anthem before going blank, saying "sorry" and then doing it again. After stalling on the "what so proudly" line a second time, she apologized again and exited the ice. But there's still more, as she quickly returned with a piece of paper in hand that presumably contained the lyrics. Alas, she managed to then step onto the ice and fall flat on her back. The only way this could have been a more comprehensive blooper would have been if a piece of her clothing had also fallen off, which mercifully did not happen. Good Morning America was nice enough to invite Marcel on the show for a shot at redemption, which she reportedly nailed. That clip didn't go anywhere near as viral as her original performance, though. Go figure. Apparently taking a page from Caroline Marcel's playbook, Canadian singer Alexis Normand delivered her own embarrassing live rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner before a 2013 Memorial Cup hockey game in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Normand actually has a fantastic voice, and she started out strong, but then she quickly forgot pretty much everything between Through the Perilous Fight and Home of the Brave, which is literally half the song. In place of the lyrics, she did a sort of hybrid mumble humming, until the crowd took over and finished the song for her. The best part is probably how she then transitioned directly from that train wreck into Oh Canada, effortlessly slipping back and forth between English and French and absolutely nailing it. In an interview afterwards, Normand claimed that she was called to do the gig the morning of, and that originally she was only tapped to perform the bilingual version of Canada's national anthem, which makes perfect sense in hindsight. The silver lining is that despite offending a lot of Americans, the disastrous performance actually led to lots of people discovering her music online. So we guess that makes her the Celine Dion of bungled national anthem performances. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite stars are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.